All right, here's our last introduction to shapes, which sounds a little silly. We've been thinking about shapes since we were whatever, 4, 5, 6. What more could we learn about shapes? Why do we need this fancy program to make shapes? We could just be making shapes on our own. Well, if you think about it, one thing we just learned in our last project was that if you take shapes and you just repeat them, right, over and over again, I want to make that shape a nice light blue color, right? If I click on it and say, yeah, I want that one, and I click on it again and say, yeah, I want that one, and I click on it again and say, yeah, I want that one. And then I could hold down the shift key, use my black arrow up here in the top left, hold down the shift key, and just select all of those and change the opacity, right? I could just start making a pattern, an all over kind of pattern. That would maybe make the stuff under it and around it look cooler. Or maybe these negative spaces, the spaces that get left in between, start to actually look like an interesting shape. Little artsy, abstract thoughts that go through art teachers' heads like that, which you may or may not find cool. Here's what you will find cool, I guarantee. I can also click on one of these shapes and come up here to effects. I know y'all want to jump right to effects, right? And there's a ton of things you can do in effects. Some of them will make sense, some of them won't make sense because we haven't really talked about rasters and vectors and paths yet. But if you just go to this 3D one and try out those, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised, right? So if I'm just extruding it, I can make the depth get bigger and smaller. I don't know why these little reflections are happening. It has something to do with the way the program is lighting this thing, because it is lighting it. If I change the stroke to something that's a little easier to see, like one of those. What if we even use a neutral color? That's not a neutral color. Something that's lets the lights and the dark show up better. All right. Then there's this little bullseye here. I can take it and I can rotate it all around. So that's kind of cool. And the way we're seeing the lights and darks, well, I'll get to that in a minute. That's up here. But how about instead of just extruding it, we revolve it? What the? So this changed it into this really weird thing. And how that thing was made, if we look here in the middle at the revolve angle, let me flip this around for you. You can grab the bullseye again and twist it. It's just the shape, right, that got grabbed and stretched into a donut. And there's just, I think this is just a little glitch, right? You saw that happen, right? It's not just me. I want to just stop on the glitch, but it's not staying. So we can make now really weird, beautiful shapes that if I was trying to make them by hand, I wouldn't be able to. I can make them and light them through the use of beautiful computations that machines make a lot better than human artists. So all of these things you can mess around with to fill up your document with shapes.